Morning guys, Chris here back with another video. Today's video guys is another Starchivore Sunday video. So what have I eaten today so far? So actually guys, I haven't eaten much at all. So it's now 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't really done that much in terms of food consumption. So it was actually my birthday yesterday. So I turned 29 yesterday, and I picked out last night on Pringles and some bourbon biscuits. So I went out for a ride, opened my presents, all that kind of stuff. Last night I just watched Allegiant, one of the Divergent films, and then I treated myself. And then usually when it's my birthday, I never really treat my birthday as one day. I sometimes have it over like a 2 day period, if you know what I mean, like when you're a little kid. So today I'm just gonna have some more of these. So I've already had 3 of these guys. I'm gonna have another one, and then what I'm going to do is I've already had some B12, I've had water, and now I'll probably just go out for a bike ride. When I get home, I'll then have a proper meal. So yeah, 29 feels, sorry, that's just the tram going past. I don't feel any different. I don't know why. Leading up to my birthday, sometimes I always feel a bit, you know, oh, I'm going to be a year older, and then it comes and you don't feel any different because it's just a number. It's just a different number. Essentially it doesn't mean anything. One thing I'm conscious of though guys is the fact that I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting on a bit now, and I don't really want to waste my life doing stuff that doesn't really mean anything to me or add value and stuff. So I want to try and get more out of my life every day if I can. And so guys, then so I've eaten, I ate about, I'm trying to think, over half a pack of this yesterday and over half a pack of this yesterday. So one thing that the things I'm going to need to be careful of today, guys, is insulin resistance. Now then, I wouldn't be technically classed as, say, insulin resistant, but insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity, it's a spectrum, it's a continuum. So today I might have a little bit more fat in the cells because of the food that I've eaten, and as a result my blood sugars might be a little bit worse. So I have to be conscious of that, and what I need to do is whenever I inject insulin, I need to have a little bit more insulin and just see where I'm at. So if you ever, let's say that you're in a situation where it's your birthday or Christmas, or let's say a holiday, and you treat yourself to a little bit of vegan junk food. Just be conscious of that if you are diabetic, that you'll have more fat potentially in the system. You'll be a little bit more insulin resistant potentially, and you'll need more insulin. So I always eat high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based, vegan, and occasionally when it's a special thing, then I'll eat something. Usually, you shouldn't eat these fatty foods every single day, but you can have them as a treat every now and then. That's what Dr. McDougall says, and I think probably Dr. Greger or Professor Campbell. You can treat yourself every now and then, but don't do it every single day. So if you're diabetic, definitely be watch out for that, and just afterwards have a little bit more insulin. Just add some more Pringles and uploading video to YouTube. So just uploading a new video, Freestyle Libre Q&A. Salon and Church. And down here we have some magical mushrooms should I get hungry. Hashtag paleo. Yeah, I always love coming up here. So this is Lauren Churchyard. My nana's actually buried here, so I come up here and see her grave and stuff. And I like to just walk around and see the graves and stuff. And I'm kind of aware of one or two historical characters who used to live here. And when I say historical, I mean in relation to the Isle of Man. So people who are important to the Isle of Man. And I've actually come up here trying to find their graves sometimes, but I think they've been kind of like worn away with age. But I like to walk around sometimes, see if I can try and find them. And yeah, so another thing then, guys. So just going on from like if you eat quite a lot of fat, especially as a diabetic, one thing that I will usually do is, as well as doing a little bit of fasting to try and clear out the fat from the system and get that insulin sensitivity back, should you end up actually being insulin resistant. I'll also come for a walk. So walking is a great way of boosting your insulin sensitivity. Any kind of physical movement is really, but I really enjoy walking. So I mean, trying to think, it's 12:36 now. I haven't really eaten much other than some Pringles and about 4 biscuits. So it's not really a lot of food. And when I go home and have some sweet potatoes or some food, because I've kind of not quite fasted as such because I have eaten, but because I haven't eaten that much and because I've done some exercise, it should help get the sugar in. I actually might be fine though, regardless of all the junk food I eat for my birthday, because I did a 4.5 mile bike ride yesterday. So when you do big bike rides as a diabetic, it definitely increases your sensitivity loads. I remember I did an 80-mile bike ride around the island a while ago, and my blood sugars for up to a week afterwards were essentially non-diabetic. When you looked at them, they were absolutely perfect in every single way, shape, or form. And one thing I need to start doing as a diabetic is getting back out there and doing more bigger rides. So do at least one every week, let's say 6 or 7 hour ride a week or something like that at the weekend, just to boost that sensitivity even more. Now my sugars are pretty good for a diabetic, and I'd say I've probably got one of the best insulin sensitivities out there, but we can always be better. So I'm always striving for new things to learn, striving to find new ways that I can improve my blood sugars overall. This has got to be one of the prettiest graves in the Isle of Man. And this guy died 1952, and there's this stone here which says Manx wildflowers planted, no weed killer, thank you. So I don't know how long that's been there. One thing I love about coming up to graveyards and stuff is I'll come around and I'll look at some of the dates on the grave when the last person died who was buried there, because sometimes you have, multiple people buried in one grave, and sometimes they can be, you can see people getting buried back in the 90s, 80s, 60s, 70s, and perhaps even sometimes further back, but you still see the graves getting maintained. There's like flowers there. Someone's obviously come along and weeded it. Someone's obviously still taking care of it. And I know it sounds kind of weird. I just kind of enjoy how, like, it shows that there's people out there who, knew and loved these people, and they still, care about their graves. Now, I'm a Christian, so I believe, when you die, that's it. Essentially, in terms of, this earth, what's left behind is just a body, essentially. But even still, I like the idea that, these people, they're not forgotten, and that people, still hold them dear in their memory and go out of their way to tend to their graves and stuff. Because I think it's quite sad, but in some respects, when you get people when they die, and, it's almost like they're forgotten straight away, like they never existed. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing for a vlog to talk about, I suppose. Another view of the church. It's actually closed down at the moment because it's been closed down for like nearly a year or two, I think. They had some kind of like electrical faults in there, and they were basically told it was a death trap, that people they could burn down or something if they keep on trying to use the electrics. So they basically told they have to close it down and until they have the entire thing rewired, which I don't think they've done yet, probably because it's quite an expensive job to do, which is kind of sad. I've been in there before. My nana died 4 years and 10 days ago today, and we buried her up here, and I've been inside the church. It's really nice. It's a shame really, because it's so big, you could probably get a couple hundred people in there, but just not used. This is an interesting headstone. It's absolutely massive. Like, well, to put it in perspective, that's a normal grave. These are normal graves here, and then look at this one, absolutely huge. It's quite a interesting design really, isn't it? And it says, donor and designer of this stone, N. Knox, lifelong friend. Must have been a pretty good lifelong friend to do that for them. That's really kind, isn't it? Another beautiful view. Mountains over there. I don't know how well you can see it, but the church is just there, so just come up here, there, and then I'm going to go down there. So this is the top of my road where I live. So guys, let's test my blood sugars and let's see what they are. So let's scan it, and let's see if you can see that. So 6.8 millimoles, so that's okay. So I've eaten a bit of food this morning, had no insulin whatsoever. My leather meat is probably run out, so that's okay. And that's my view. Yeah, I love going for walks and stuff. what I'd say, guys, is if you've got any kind of, well, whatever it is, whether you're diabetic, non-diabetic, you're just a vegan, go out every day for a walk. It makes you feel so much, happier, healthier, gets you away from noise and stuff. I mean, I know now I've got my headphones in, but a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll actually have my headphones in regardless of whether I'm going to listen to music or not, because I live in the countryside and we get loads of flies and stuff out here, and they try and fly in your ears to get to the wax and all that kind of stuff. So what I'll actually do is I'll put headphones in, and it stops from trying to get in, basically. But this is the road that I'm going to try and Everest at some point. So Everest means I cycle up it over and over until I've accumulated the elevation of Mount Everest. So I need to do 70 laps of this, which is going to be quite tough because this top bit here gets to about 11%, 13%, which is quite steep. So what happens is you end up having to put out quite a lot of power, like 250 to 300 watts, which is too much. Really, it would be better if it was a shallower gradient, and rather than it being like quite easy and then hard, it was more uniform, if you know what I mean. If that makes sense, better average. But yeah, I want to try and lose more weight basically, just so I can get a bit lighter. So not loads, but I mean just a bit more. Because if you think about it, cycling up here 70 times in a row, and you're carrying any kind of excess weight, you're going to have to carry that. You're going to have to produce power to move that weight, which isn't really what you want. It means you're going to burn through your glycogen faster, etc. So realistically, it might be like a year or two before I'm fit enough to do an Everesting attempt. I've done 20 laps of this road before as like a little training exercise and stuff. Really what I should do is I should do sort of like a quarter Everest, and then like a half Everest, then a 3/4 Everest, and sort of do it that way. Which is what I would like. Well, I probably should do, really, shouldn't I, when I think about it, and build up to it gradually like that. I don't think anyone in the Isle of Man's ever done an Everest attempt either, so I'd be the first Manxman to do one, so I'd have a little record in of itself. So I kind of got the idea from June Rider. So last year he did his first Everest of Norton Summit down in Australia, and I just really liked the idea of doing them. It just seemed really cool to me. I thought to myself, I want to do one as well. So and the good thing is, because I live at the bottom of the road, if I need food or water, the toilet, change clothes, etc., my house is right there. And if I mentally break and crumble, at the very highest point, it's only going to take me a few minutes to get down the road back home. Whereas, let's say if I was like in another part of the island or even another country, I could be quite a fair distance away from wherever I lived. So actually living here, is quite handy. And then I know it doesn't look much, but like this bit here, so let's say my hand's flat now, so as you can kind of see, it's about 11%. So guys, got my first meal of the day there ready, just waiting for my sweet potato to cook. I just need to get my protein. Ooh, protein. So guys, as a vegan, because I don't get enough protein, what I have to do is I have to basically buy dogs from animal shelters and stuff. So I'm probably going to I might have this one here, just because I'm feeling a bit protein deficient at the moment. And then I've got these ones for later on. I've got my meal downstairs is going to be 85 grams of carbohydrates. I've met 59. I've met 59% of my nutritional targets just with that one meal, and I'm going to have, which I've got programmed in here, if it will work. So I'm going to have 4 units of Nova Rapid. I'm going to have 4 units of Levemir. So guys, I have my dinner here. So as you can see, I've got chicory, I've got tomatoes, I've got spring onions, I've got pak choy, I've got sweet potato, and I've got like nutritional yeast, red wine vinegar on there as well. I'm going to add loads of salt. So you can see this, I'll put this against my head. So as you can see, there's like quite a lot of volume there. And that's one of the big benefits of eating, whole food, high carb, low fat. You can eat a large volume of food and have it not be, so calorically dense that you end up getting fat from it. But at the same time, it's nutritionally dense that you will get all of the nutrients that you need. It's been a few hours now, and as you can see, my blood sugars were pretty fine. Didn't really have that much to be worried about, and I think that's probably the big bike ride that I did. If I hadn't done the 45-mile bike ride I did yesterday, with all that fat that I ate for my birthday, part of the vegan junk food and stuff, my sugars would have been a lot worse, because fat causes insulin resistance, which leads to higher blood sugars. But it's okay. So if you do a lot of exercise, it can really help to increase your insulin sensitivity, and even if you have fat, it just helps clear things out. And what I find is, if you do a big bike ride for days after, you'll reap the benefits basically. So I'm gonna go out for a walk now, I think, along the beach, and then chill out and read some Star Wars. Just grabbed myself some of this nice poppy seed bread when I left. I don't normally eat bread, but when I was in the supermarket yesterday, when it was my birthday, I saw some bread going cheap, so I thought I'd get myself some. So bread isn't the best because it is processed, it gets into your blood quicker, and you don't always know what they've put in it in terms of chemicals and stuff. But I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a treat. So yeah, this is poppy seed bread. I don't know if you can get it where you are, but I quite like this. It's probably my favourite bread, I would say. At the beach, living the dream. Look at how close that old abandoned house is there, that's close to the edge there. It's going to collapse in a few years from now. No one lives inside, I've had a look. Somebody loves somebody. Just found that on the beach. I absolutely love walking along here, guys. I'd say this is probably my favourite beach in the world. I absolutely love it because no one ever thinks to come up here. So many people in society today, they just spend their lives sat down on their ass in front of a television or a mobile phone or some kind of electronic device or screen, and they never get out into the real world and experience nature and breathe in fresh air and listen to the sound of the waves coming in, and look at the little insects on the sand scurrying around as you're walking along. And it's sad, it really is sad to see that that's how most people in our society, whether it be the Isle of Man or America, just Western society in general, that's how they live. And it is very sad. And as I've gotten older, and I've definitely started to appreciate the outdoors and nature a lot more, and I think I always have done. But when I was younger, I spent a lot of time wasted on watching TV shows 4 or 5 hours every single night. I played computer games for hours on end, and it was all for nothing really, and I could have spent it outside here enjoying my life. And I just love how mentally refreshing it is. It feels like almost like a weight off your shoulders when you come out here. You're able to breathe and relax and get away from all the cares of the world. And what I'd encourage all of you to do at home is, if you can, do something like this every single day. Now then, I know that it's not always easy if you've got kids. I don't have kids. If you live in somewhere like New York City, for example, excuse me, but do what you can. And I definitely think you'll notice the benefits from it, especially if you're someone who, you get up, you go to work, you go home, and you sit in front of a TV for ages. Get away from the town, get away from the city, get outside, get outdoors in nature, and just relax and, enjoy yourself. I'd say it's one of the best, it's cheap, it doesn't cost me anything to do this. And you have people, spending, countless hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of a year, trying to buy all of these different experiences, when the best experiences that you can have in life, the experiences that don't cost anything, the experiences that are free, going for a walk along the beach or along the coastline, going for a walk up into the mountains, and being able to see for hundreds of miles around. You don't have to pay anyone for that experience. Whereas if you go to a cinema and you spend, I don't know, $5, $10 on a cinema ticket, that's it, over. Whereas with this, I can come here all the time and get a lot of benefit from it. Those movies that people go to watch, they're always going to remember them. Now, I'm not necessarily always going to remember these each and every walk, but I definitely remember the enjoyment and the value that I get from them. And but if you can, just try and make time every single day to just come out here. And it could be that, you know, you struggle to find time, so find ways to make time in your life. So it could be that, you know, you stop watching TV, you get rid of your TV, you get rid of cable, you get rid of your satellite, you know, Sky or whatever. It could be that you know, stop engaging in relationships with people that don't add value to your life or that aren't healthy, you know, etc. Just find a way to, you know, come outside and enjoy nature and everything. Home guys from the beach, had a lovely time there. Met this old chap who's about 72, and he was telling me about his travels around Asia and loads of different countries, which I really enjoyed. Back home now, I'm gonna have my tea. Da 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 da. So we have here, guys, kale. Let's see if I can brighten it up. So we have here, guys, kale. I've got loads of carrots underneath, which you might not be able to make out. Sweet corn, basmati rice, red lentils, nutritional yeast, red wine vinegar, and a nice kind of like spicy kind of powder on top. And I'll have loads of salt as well. Just watching Vikings. So that is my blood sugars there, guys, as you can see. So 5.3 millimoles after that big meal I had. I've still got 1 unit of insulin left in my system, so I don't want to risk getting a hypo in my sleep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a Cliff Bar. So I thought I'd just have a Cliff Bar just as a snack, as a treat, because it's my birthday. Well, it was my birthday yesterday, but I always treat my birthday over a 2-day period or whatever. So I'm just going to have it. I thought I'd treat myself to a Cliff Bar before bed. About 31 grams of carbs there. Just make sure I don't go low in the night. And that's basically the end of today, guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I eat, different foods, stuff like that. Hope it gives you ideas on what you can eat as well. Until next time, you know, thanks for watching. God bless as always. And remember, always go high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based, vegan. Bye bye, guys. These fatty foods every single day, but you can have them as a treat every now and then. That's what Dr. McDougall says, and I think about probably Dr. Greger or Professor Campbell. You know, you can treat yourself every now and then, but don't do it every single day. So if you're diabetic, definitely be, you know, watch out for that, and just you know, afterwards have a little bit more insulin. Just add some more Pringles and uploading video to YouTube. So just uploading a new video, Freestyle Libre Q&A. Salon and Church. And down here we have some magical mushrooms should I get hungry. Hashtag paleo. Yeah, I always love coming up here. So this is, and what I need to do is whenever I inject insulin, I need to have a little bit more insulin and just see where I'm at. So if you ever, you know, let's say that you're in a situation where it's your birthday or Christmas, or let's say a holiday, and you treat yourself to a little bit of, you know, vegan junk food, just be conscious of that if you are diabetic, that you'll have more fat potentially in the system, you'll be a little bit more insulin resistant potentially, and you'll need more insulin. So I always eat, you know, high carb, low fat, low protein, high fiber, whole food, plant-based, vegan, and occasionally, you know, when it's a special thing, then I'll eat something, usually. You know, you shouldn't eat, you know, a 2-day period, if you know what I mean, like when you're a little kid. So today I'm just going to have some more of these. So I've already had 3 of these guys. I'm going to have another one, and then what I'm going to do is I've already had some B12, I've had water, and now I'll probably just go out for a bike ride. And when I get home, I'll then have a proper meal. So yeah, 29 feels, so that's just the tram going past. I don't feel any different. I don't know why. Leading up to my birthday, sometimes I always feel a bit, you know, oh, I'm going to be a year older, and then it comes and you don't feel any different because it's just a number. It's just you know, a different number essentially. It doesn't mean anything. One thing I'm conscious of though, guys, is the fact that, you know, I'm not getting any younger. Morning guys, Chris here back with another video. Today's video guys is another Starchivore Sunday video. So what have I eaten today so far? So actually guys, I haven't eaten much at all. So it's now 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't really done that much in terms of food consumption. So it was actually my birthday yesterday. So I turned 29 yesterday, and I picked out last night on Pringles and some Bourbon biscuits. So I went out for a ride, opened my presents, all that kind of stuff. Last night I just watched Allegiant, one of the Divergent films, and then I treated myself. And then usually when it's my birthday, I never really treat my birthday as one day. I sometimes have it over like I'm getting on a bit now, and I don't really want to waste my life doing stuff that doesn't really, mean anything to me or add value and stuff. So I want to, try and get more out of my life every day if I can. And so guys, so I've eaten, I eat about, I'm trying to think, over half a pack of this yesterday, and over half a pack of this yesterday. So the things that I'm going to need to be careful of today, guys, is insulin resistance. Now then, I wouldn't be technically classed as, say, insulin resistant, but insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity, that it's a spectrum, it's a continuum. So today I might have a little bit more fat in the cells because of the food that I've eaten, and as a result my blood sugars might be a little bit worse. So I have to be conscious of that.